Hey guys, Adam Gaskell here, founder and CEO of the Nonprofit Creators. So happy to get this done and this video recorded with a dear friend and a mission of missions, Mr. Sean Welsh, with his VET S.O.S podcast, but also newly the VET S.O.S charity. When I hear a story, what does a story mean to you? How does it grasp? Where does it take you? Now, when it becomes a veteran story, a lot of people think of the question, am I alone? What happens? Well, guess what? Sean, and what you've been doing the last couple of years when I first heard this, sharing our stories, this SOS signal and this beacon of hope and inspiration to provide community, education, and support, it blew me away because veterans are dear to my heart. So, Sean, please just share with us, where did this come from? How did you come up with this transitioning story and amplifying and being a megaphone for so many veterans?
First off, thanks for being on this journey with me, Adam. Appreciate the guidance and wisdom and all your experience and really helping me try to bring this vision to light. It has been absolutely an amazing journey so far, and we're just at the beginning. So let's jump into it. Over the last 2+ years, we've been putting out the podcast, interviewing organizations in the veteran transition space to help educate our community, the veterans, the service members, and the spouses on the various resources that are available to them. Now, the one thing that's happened through the course of that is I get asked quite a bit by everyday veterans, "Hey, can I come on and tell my transition story?" And I'm like, "That's awesome. I'd love to do that. I just don't know how to do that." I have, a regular 9 to 5 job and we're doing our thing. So we're very focused in how we do the podcast. And so trying to figure that piece out has been a puzzle we've worked on for the last couple of years. And so right now, we've decided that we're going to move forward with this nonprofit and using the name Veterans Sharing Our Stories, spelling out the VET S.O.S because that's the whole goal of the whole thing is to help the veteran population. And so we're doing it with educating them. Now we're going to give them a chance to tell their story. And so we're working on a web-based solution where they're going to be able to come forward and record their own personal story of transition, the veteran and the veteran spouses, because our spouses go through the transition just as much as we do. So capturing those stories and putting them into a sortable database. And what we want to be able to do is capture every possible demographic and psychographic out there. We want to capture those demographics so you can sort by a specific gender or race or service or job in the military, years served, all those types of things you can sort by. But also, we want to be able to sort by those things that we struggle with: the homelessness, the depression, the PTSD, alcoholism, drug abuse, things like that, suicidal ideations. Because the number one thing I've heard over the last couple of years is I thought I was the only one going through it, and that's hard to hear, especially when you know that they're not the only one going through it. You've had those conversations with other people. You've heard similar stories, so you know that there's more than just one person going through something, and that's really the big thing behind this whole nonprofit we're trying to build is we want to be able to, one, capture the stories because they're powerful, but two, we want to be able to show our population that they're not alone. Other people have gone through what you're going through, something similar, and they found ways hopefully to get through it, and maybe that'll help you overcome what you're trying to do. So we're pretty excited about the opportunity to bring this forward and actually help our community in ways we can only imagine at this moment.
Amen. And what I loved when we first met is you told me that story in itself of the vision and the aspiration of having this living library and an archive of multiple stories
Yep.
where people can identify where they're at, but it's also documented. I mean,
Hmm.
think about that as now you're not alone, no matter if it's 2 in the morning, it's late
Yes.
at night, it's early, and you're across the globe. Well,
Yep.
guess what? You have your fellow brothers, your brethren, and the soldiers along with you. And man, when you eliminate the aloneness feeling of not alone and you have a community and that support, what does that do just for your mental, your psyche, your community, and your full up leveling? Just from your voice, Sean, what would you say is the biggest takeaway from that?
So there's a couple things that we often talk about, especially in transition, and the biggest one is finding your tribe. once you leave the military, you're leaving behind your team and whatever else, and everybody looks the same uniform, that kind of thing. You know where you are, you know who you are. You're leaving all that behind, your identity, your tribe, and all that stuff. So you have to find a new place for that. And many of us find that in things like the VFW or American Legion, something like that, or other nonprofits that are out there, other organizations that deal with veterans, or maybe it's just some organization you volunteer with. So getting away from that isolationism that can occur is huge. And the more research that's done on isolation, the more we're finding out how deadly it can be. And through this organization, you're going to be able to pull up videos and hear stories that sound familiar. You're going to hear stories of people who have gone exactly through what you've gone through, whether it be a specific battle or war zone, a silent demon they're fighting with. You're going to hear some things that sound similar, sound familiar, and hopefully we're going to be able to help you take those steps and move forward. And so that's the really the first piece is capturing those videos and categorizing so people can search for what they want to find. But we also want to be able to provide the resources, trusted, valued resources where there's quick links on the website that, if you're struggling with this or that, there's people that we know and trust that you can reach out to and hopefully, get the help that you actually need to help you continue your transition and move on into the civilian world and, you know, flourish and have a wonderful life.
Absolutely. Those shared resources and a vetted resources or a hub where someone doesn't need to go far.
Yep.
So as they now share fellowship, they build their tribe, they have a connection. Now they're not alone. Now where to go, right? And if you already provide this, and what I love about it is I don't hear many people say they don't want to be a part of this because it's such a fabric in everything. Like we've helped so many charities and individuals that are veteran focused. They want to save the heroes who saved us. Well, this is an opportunity not only to share the story, but combining it with the resources in a way I've never seen before. So that's what just gets me going. Cause like I've mentioned to this offline to you, Sean, I said, I can't wait. We'll bring all of the charities and the philanthropic business owners that care for the soldiers, but from the story aspect and also that thread of where that connects to and how a story can really connect on deeper levels in a multitude of different ways, that just gets me pumped because it's sharing your story, your intimate story, and we care. We want
Right.
to listen to it as well because everyone's unique in their own way. At the same time, having a tribe that can really just take it to the next level. So
Yeah. And
take it away.
if you've never listened to, well, let me start with everybody has a powerful story. If you truly sit
Mm,
down and tell your life story, whatever that story may be, and Darius Rucker has a great song about a story to tell, and just going through that entire song, you realize that there's good parts, there's bad parts, but it's your story. It's who you are,
mm,
it's the life you've lived, and being able to share that, no matter who you are, could very well help somebody because of what you may have struggled with. And so, taking that specifically to the veteran side of the house, that there are things that you know we're trained to do in the military that aren't normal things that you do in everyday life. And so they continue to struggle with those and deal with those memories and what have you throughout the rest of their life. So we want to be able to give them an outlet to one tell their story because that's going to provide some sort of therapeutic value to be able to tell their story. But then the ability to reach out and help other people just through that power of that story, um, I believe is going to have a huge reach. And the thing that's kind of exciting is we're going to help people that we don't even know we helped. People are going to click on
mm.
these videos in the middle of the night, hear a story that changes their life, and we may never even know about it. But that impact's going to be made, and who knows what that person's going to wind up doing, the impact that they're going to have down the road. I'm so excited to get this ball rolling and to to bring in every possible veteran from every generation, their spouses, to come in, tell their transition story so that we can help put that story out there. And that's only the tip of the iceberg because we have a lot of different stories in our lives to tell. For this one, we're focusing on that transition story, but that transition story is where a lot of people um, hit road bumps. And so we want to start there and we want to truly, get those stories out to help the veteran tell their story, help someone that needs help to realize they're not alone, and then also hopefully to educate the rest of the world on the different things that veterans are actually dealing with. Maybe provide a little bit more clarity across the board on some of the things that we go through when we go through transition. So I think it's going to be powerful, and I know we're going to make a big difference with this.
Thank you so much. I completely agree. That blossoming ripple effect of not knowing where it can reach, and then someone feeling comfortable in sharing their own story, but being heard on the aspect of resources, a smooth transition,
Yeah.
helping people take it to the next level. And again, this is just the beginning, continuing evolving and looking for like-minded people that want to participate, that want to share their story, that want to help, whether it's a financial, whether it's a sharing. There's
Yes.
so many different ways that you can play and participate. So in that note, Sean, take it away with the final appreciation, a moment of gratitude for this and what we're doing. And if anyone's listening or watching this and hear your story or have been listening to the podcast, what do you have to say to them about this living legacy that's going to live on through the stories of that VET SOS charity?
We've been truly blessed over the last 2+ years with the podcast. The fact that people respect what we're doing, they tune in to hear the different stories that we're getting from different organizations, and we're getting feedback now on people who are actually finding organizations that help them through an episode they heard on the podcast. So that really has opened our eyes to the impact of just trying to give back, just trying to help, and that's what we're trying to do with the sharing our stories as we move forward as well. And we just want to be able to continue to help our population, and we want to thank everybody who supported us so far. We want to thank everybody who's already donated. Uh, we are asking for additional help. If you can donate any money, we'd love to have your support, because we want to launch this. We want to be right. We want to do it all, so that we can get this out there. We want to get this out there, and I think this is going to be one of those things that really helps our community when we get it out there. So, if you can support, great. We'd love to have your support. If you're looking to volunteer or maybe even become part of the organization, definitely reach out to me. We'd love to have a conversation as we get closer to launching. We definitely will be reaching out to all kinds of people. And like you said earlier, we've talked to tons of people. We've gotten great feedback. We're excited to get this project going. And for this particular organization, we want people to be the beacon of hope in the sea of transition. Be that light that helps somebody find their way. And with that, I just want to thank everybody for the support so far, and we're looking forward to what we can do.
Thank you.